Hello everyone. Book review and summary number 30. The Outsiders by William Thorndike. The Outsiders. 8 unconventional CEOs and their radically rational blueprint for success. The book tries to decode the abilities and actions of 8 CEOs who were exceptional in generating shareholder wealth over the last century. The author is a graduate of Harvard College and Stanford Grad School of Business with significant work done in investment research. The book starts off with a question of who is the best CEO and starts to describe the details around Jack Welch, who we all know did an exceptional job in GE. But was he the best? The author introduces us to Henry Singleton, who according to the author is a greater CEO than Jack Welch, using the measures of per share returns against the market and the peers. The 8 CEOs who are being discussed are as below: Tom Murphy, Capital Cities; Henry Singleton, Teledyne; Bill Anders, General Dynamics; John Malone, TCI; Catherine Graham, Washington Post; Bill Stiritz, Ralston Purina; Dick Smith, General Cinemas; Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. Most of the CEOs/companies that I just mentioned, I haven't heard them except for Tom Murphy, Warren Buffett and Washington Post. But their impact to their shareholders and returns is phenomenal, and each chapter is dedicated to describe how these companies were set up and what these CEOs did differently during their stint that helped them achieve the success. I'll summarize the key tenets, each of them exhibited below. Analytical. All the CEOs were very logical, rational and analytical and would not take any decisions emotionally. Most of them didn't believe in Excel sheet modeling but always questioned the assumptions made and would take very quick decisions. Right metric. Most CEOs measured their success on maximizing value per share, which can be improved by acquisitions, investments to project higher valuations, but rather focused on careful repurchasing to provide good shareholder value. Decentralized organizations. Most companies managed by them aim to decentralize operations and decision making. Buffett talks about the philosophy of hiring the best and leave the rest to them. Less focus on image. None of them focused on maintaining investor/analyst relations and were not very charismatic and didn't seek spotlight but focused only on performance. High temperament. Most of the CEOs made investments and waited for it to generate returns, as well as not rally behind the market in terms of acquisitions just because there's a frenzy, but wait and make the right acquisitions. Long-term perspective. Most of the CEOs weren't really into growing the scale of the business for the sake of it, but invest in long-term expenditure for generating efficiency/wealth. So rather than alluding to market expectations, they focused on doing the right thing for long term. Capital allocation. Almost all CEOs described here focused on holding on to ventures/departments that would generate returns for them, else let go of them rather than holding on to them emotionally. Use the proceeds to reinvest in ventures that can generate returns. If they do not find any, they repurchase the shares, thereby transferring the cash to the shareholders and generate better returns via their shares only. The important point to note here is that all of them moved away from the metrics that the market measures a company upon and used metrics that generate and define wealth to shareholders. Even if you are a manager or business owner, the decision making on utilizing the firm's resources should revolve around generating the maximum wealth to the party who has invested. All of them moved away from the norms of their times and did something very different to remain as standout performers. So managers need to follow these principles, commit to rationality and not bother about what the rest of the herd is doing to be successful. What are the key takeaways from this book? Number 1. Maximizing shareholder returns is a key metric for a CEO, then generating earnings, profit, etc. Good CEOs are proficient in capital allocation. Managers need to equate the same to firms' resource allocation to be successful in generating maximum returns for their CEOs. Last point, most of the successful CEOs called out in the book are not very famous. To be successful, you don't necessarily have to manage a charisma. Just plain delivery of metrics should do. With that, we conclude the book review and summary number 30. I'll catch up with you with another episode of another interesting book. Thank you.